Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split. So, continuation to ng Week 6 natin before we head into Week 7 tomorrow. Pero bago natin pag-usapan yung naging laban kanina ng IPT versus TNC, pakilala muna kami bilang casters nyo for this last game for the day. I'm Arctic at Sirius Fam. At syempre, kasama ko ngayon si Chisto.
Yeah, and Arctic, mukhang mapapalaban tayo ngayong gabi kasi of course we're headed into Game 3 after that very extended game. Feeling ko umabot ng mga 50 minutes yung game na yun between TNC and IPT. Pero yeah, in the end, it was IPT coming out on top and forcing this Game 3. And gusto kong i-credit yung IPT for that performance. I think they really played well to the strengths of their team comp. And yung mga players na parang kine-question natin yung performances during the past week, I think for this game, I think they really performed well and they really showed up, and that's part of the reasons kung bakit sila nagtagumpay laban sa TNC.
Actually, agree ako sa'yo dun, Chisto. And of course, at the end of the day, I'd have to give massive credit to Light. Sobrang galing ng Anivia niya. Not only, I think in general din, IPT, alam nilang in the later parts of the game, once they hit that late game, they're just gonna spiral in a way that TNC couldn't necessarily go head-to-head with them in a 5v5 unless Icarus could have done something with that Poppy. But as it pretty much prevailed, just pretty much played out beautifully for them overall. And nakita rin naman natin na IPT did make those adjustments going into yung bago nating patch. Pero tingnan natin kung kaya makabawi ng TNC as we head into Game 3.
Yeah, and gusto ko yung highlight mo kay Light doon na I think his Anivia pick was one of the reasons kung bakit talagang na-stall ng IPT yung game na ganun. Kaya tumagal dahil sa wave clear na provide yung Anivia. But right now, we're gonna see the updated standings, Arctic.
Yes, and of course, gaya na nakita natin, IPT will get a point up. So unfortunately, regardless of the results for today, there won't be any particular climbs from either side. Pero at least, ang maganda dito is nandun yung security ng IPT as far as making sure that they have that slot in the playoffs. And not only that, wala nang makakahabol sa kanila coming in from the lower side of the bracket.
Yeah, pero tignan muna natin yung pick and ban phase dito. Arctic, of course, from IPT, no change in banning yet. Binanout nila yung Yasuo ni Hayes, and this is a constant trend that we've seen throughout the PGS. Pero mukhang yung TNC, meron silang adjustment of their own. They're denying Light this Anivia pick, which is probably one of the strongest mages in patch 8.4. Tingnan natin anong pipick ng IPT dito. They're hovering over the Camille, a flex pick, but yeah, I think Suzaku would be very happy to have this champion.
But at the same time, I'm wondering, because of this Anivia ban right here, what else does IPT have up their sleeve as far as... Kasi ang daming mages na nag-rise up bigla as of the recent changes na 8.4.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see kung ano nga yung dadalhin ni Light dito sa middle or maybe even Hayes. Pero gaya nga na sinabi mo, it is patch 8.4. Maraming bagong item na na-introduce into the league, and these items are AP items, so definitely maapektuhan yung meta as far as the mid lane goes. Kailangan lang talaga natin antayin kung ano yung ipapakita sa atin ng mga pro player dito. But IPT, with this Morgana Caitlyn bot lane locked in, it provides a lot of safety, and I think it matches up very well versus a Zyre or Khan combo.
Meanwhile, looking at TNC here, I mean, with the bot lanes secured for both sides here, Burst gonna go for Sejuani. So let's go ahead and see how that pans out for TNC, though. I guess that does grant him a little bit of a leg up as far as what influence na kaya niyang dalin sa mga lanes ng TNC. But second rotation of bans here, wow, it looks like Icarus's Poppy gonna be taken away from him.
Yeah, mukhang dun sa second rotation ng bans nga ng IPT, ito target nila parehas kay Icarus, but with those bans being targeted at the top lane, it means that the Vladimir from Hayes as well will be left open, and I think Hayes performed very well on the Vladimir in the previous game. Unfortunately, they just got outscaled, and the response from IPT will be the rise going to the mid lane definitely for Light, and I think 8.4 really favors Rise because of all the items that provide mana. I think at some point of the game, Rise will just hindi na siya mawawala ng mana, and he can just constantly spam his abilities. And of course, we have to talk about the Realm Warp, one of the strongest ultimates in competitive play. You can really use it to out-rotate your opponents. Tignan lang natin kung magagamit nga yun ng IPT.
Interesting though. Looks like TNC gonna be sticking to their guns here. Bibigay pa rin nila yung Vladimir kay Hayes. So, I wonder how that's gonna pan out though, because I'm not sure if this is just generally TNC sticking to what they're comfortable with, or could it be that they weren't able to get Hayes to mesh well enough with the recent changes in 8.4 and 4 for them to exploit it with their mid laner?
Honestly, Arctic, I think 8.4 is very healthy for Vladimir. With the new item that we saw in the previous spell binary, if I recall correctly, it works very well with the Vladimir pick. Gives him the movement speed that he needs to get into the backline to deal the damage he needs, and it gives him more AP, which is generally what Vladimir needs because he needs to burst down the squishy targets. But in this game, it's just a question, can he get to the backline?
I'd have to agree with you there, Chisto. And I guess we'll find out in just a bit. So, ladies and gents, ayun na nga po, nakalock in na yung mga composition ng parehong side. Let us know from wherever you're watching, whether it be Facebook Live or sa gaming.youtube.com/PeachGarena/live kung sino ang supportado nyo dito para manalo ng huling laro natin ngayong Thursday bago tayo mag-proceed sa Week 7 bukas. Hashtag IPT win ba para sa Imperium Pro Team or hashtag TNC win ba para sa TNC Pro Team. At ulit, parang may pro team sa dulo pero only one can prevail in this match.
Yan, kung sino man ang prevail dito, importante yung results ng match na to kasi if TNC wins here, it means that they will be in sole possession of second place, which is very important headed into the playoffs. But if IPT comes out on top, that means that tied ang TNC at TME for that second spot. So, importante sa standings ng match na to, Arctic. Especially, we're headed into the final week of the Pro Gaming Series.
Especially crucial for TNC. Man, I'm wondering if they can pull it off. Meanwhile, nakita naman natin, IPT has been stepping up their game. So, I guess we'll just have to see how that'll go down as we head on in just a bit to Summoner's Rift. And there you have it, folks. Dito na magkakaalaman who will win this match that has been delayed for a number of days but will finally reach a conclusion. This is Game 3 between Imperium Pro Team versus TNC Pro Team. Bakbakan na tayo, guys, as we head on to the Rift.
Yan, gaya nga na sinabi namin, sobrang importante ng match ito. Pero mukhang merong binabalak tong IPT to. They've 5-man invaded bot lane. And looking at their comp, they do have a lot of CC here. I can assume that Light started W, tapos instant chain CC yun into the Morgana Q. Tignan nga natin kung merong kakagat galing sa TNC. Oh!
Will it actually reach? Oh, unfortunately for IPT, they will get caught out by Vision. But good move there from TNC. At least they will spot that out. So, hindi makakagawa ng sneaky play ang IPT. But in the midst of that, dahil nga nakita ng TNC na naka-group up ang IPT sa bot lane kanina, that will prompt Icarus to at least establish offensive vision dito naman sa blue side ng IPT.
Yeah, pero Arctic, pag-usapan natin yung nangyari nung previous game nitong series na to where I think TNC showed a new side to the way they play because normally makikita natin yung TNC medyo mabagal yung early game and then aasan lang sila na umabot sa late game point tapos they out-teamfight their opponents. Pero in that previous game, they actually won the early game very, very hard, making use of the champions they had to get all the advantages that they could. So that's a new side that TNC is showing us. Pero in the end, they just got outscaled. Looking at this game again, meron silang tools sa lumamang ng early game. But it's the same situation. Scaling is on the side of IPT. Ang tanong lang dito, can TNC close out the game bago umabot ulit yung point kung saan IPT can hold out and look for engages and just turn the game around again?
But going into the late game, would you say that this definitely kind of leans towards IPT if we do kind of see a scenario of game 2 where it extends all the way into 40 to 50 minutes?
Yun nga, parang same scenario siya as the previous game. So parehas na naman yung threats na meron sa IPT. But level 2 na si Ivalis dito.
Yes, Ivalis gonna try to go straight in onto Orthros and Demon. Pero mukhang hinay muna ang IPT. It's still a little bit early on to the game para makapagbakbakan. So, chill muna parehong side. We won't commit to either of that.
Yeah, actually, ang talino ng move ng TNC din kasi nakita ng IPT na in-invade ng TNC yung blue buff nila. So, generally, that means na merong aura si Ivalis to possibly counter jungle and invade the blue buff as well. Pero TNC smartly enough, they know that IPT wants to make this move and they send their bot lane to defend. Pero at the cost of hitting level 2 behind IPT, which means that IPT will have more pressure in this bot lane.
True, and looks like Hate and Shadow. Look at how well they're controlling this wave right now. Hindi nila basta-basta ang benefit either to TNC or si Demon or si Orthros. So wave that will come into them. We'll miss out on a little bit of CS, but let's see if that will deter them. Not quite so much, but it's a good foot up para naman dito kay Hate tsaka kay Shadow.
Yeah, ganun mo lang talaga lalaro itong lane matchup na to. If you're running the Morgana Caitlyn, ang gagawin mo is you use your superior range, gamitin mo yung zone control na pinaprovide ng Morgana and yung traps ni Kaiten and really try to bully your opponents. And given na it is a Syra Khan lane, kahit na sobrang ganda ng synergy ng Syra Khan, there's really not much you can do to bully around the Kaiten Morgana lane as Ivalice wants to gank top. Mukhang wala siyang mahanap.
Konting bulaga kay Ikaros, but overall, unfortunately wasn't quite successful. That will be Suzaku going in onto him though, and we'll take a turret shot, but still Ikaros, he has to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, of course, Sion built to survive the lane, not to win the lane generally. Pero normally makikita mo, di ba, yung mga Sion, they'd be running the Arcane Comet and really trying to bully their opponents by constantly shoving the wave. Pero mukhang for this game, Icarus will be running the Glacial Augment. So, trying to get more slows onto trying to get more CC in general to possibly help his team just chase down the members of IPT. Pero yun nga, going back to the point I was trying to make, Sion isn't built to win his lane. Camille is the more snowbally champion in this matchup. So, in the early phases, you really expect Suzaku to be the one dictating the way kung paano gagana yung lane na yan.
Meanwhile, looking at this bot lane, still constant shoving na nakikita natin na galing dito pareho. They hate Kara's shadow. So, I think it's pretty much a trend that we're seeing almost across the board for IPT right now.
Yeah, and gusto mong makita sa IPT, meron silang winning matchups and they're really abusing the fact na ganun nga, nananalo yung lane namin. We have more pushing lanes. And even though this is good for Ivalice, Zac isn't really the best jungler if you want to go counter jungling. Generally, you'd want to punish overextended laners by ganking. But looking at how the lanes are for IPT, I think they're also locking out Ivalice as well because there really isn't that much he can do to gank a lane that's always pushed up.
Right, and this will kind of limit Ivalice in a way, but overall, I think as far as how laning goes for both sides, really doing the trick, especially, oh, that will be a gank onto Suzaku. They will be forced to flash away. Will it be enough? Just one more hit, and that will be first blood para dito sa TNC Pro Team.
Yeah, well played galing sa top and jungle duo ng TNC Pro Team to pick up first blood, and also feeling ko over-aggression yun galing kay Suzaku because ang escape lang nung Kamit is hookshot, and if you have enough CC lockdown from Isayan sa Giovanni, kahit mag-flash away ka pa, hindi makakatakas yung Camille yan. So, again, credits to Burst as well for sneaking up all the way in top lane.
Overall, that will be a little bit of relief para dito sa top side, para dito kay Icarus. Kaya para naman dito sa bot side, nakita naman natin napakalaki na actually ng diferensya pagdating sa CS between Hate and Demon, playing at 55 to 28. That's almost half actually for Demon here.
Yeah, normally hindi mo makikita na nahihirapan sa lane ng ganito si Demon, diba? Normally he'd be going even kahit a bit behind, pero not this big of a difference. So it looks like IPT's bot lane are really stepping up in this game, making use of their winning matchup. Talagang inaabuso nila yung fact na superior yung range nila and mas malakas lang talaga yung champions nila in the early phases to really punish TNC's bot lane.
Medyo pumapasok yung question sa isip ko na how this will affect Demon as he transitions into later parts of this game. Kasi parang yun nga yung sinasabi natin na Demon is kind of a little bit more chill in the earlier phases, and then he just really pops off going into the mid-late game, especially once the team fights start breaking out. But if this kind of leads to a slow build-up for him, that's a little bit of a worrying trend for me for the bot lane of TNC.
Yeah, and mukhang nag-ulti si Icarus para bumalik sa lane. Pero let's go back to the topic you were talking about. You mentioned Demon, and I think it's fair to say Demon has been having a great season so far.
Definitely.
For the PGS. Pero yun nga, in this game, he's struggling a bit, and you mentioned how it might affect him going towards the later parts of the game. And yun nga, kailangan talagang masubukan yung mental fortitude ni Demon dito. Of course, he's still a rookie.
Right.
Meron ding possible nerves na pwede pumasok dun. So yeah, this is a test to Demon because normally we wouldn't see him dito sa position na behind siya.
Yeah, and you have to also take into consideration, oh, that will be Ivalice diving in onto Burst right there. Pero dyan na rin ang si Ace para backupan siya. Ivalice actually does survive with a slither of health though.
Yeah, and constantly pressuring Ivalice in this jungle matchup. Nakita rin natin to nung Game 2 Arctic where Burst was always timing, and they actually did it. They invaded Ivalice's jungle level 1. They stole the buff, and the next buff that spawned, inagaw na naman nila. So Burst is constantly applying pressure, but at the cost of his bot lane. But Suzaku, he has no flash. He will be dived.
Whoa, will Suzaku make it out? More importantly, will TNC suffer any casualties themselves? Suzaku still more than half his health up at mukhang kailangan umatras ng TNC doon. Fortunately, mission not quite accomplished for them and they will have to back away as a result.
Yeah, Suzaku played that so well. And I think kulang din yung resources na meron yung TNC doon. Ginamit ni Burst yung Glacial Prison kay Ivalice kanina on the blue buff engage. So with that ultimate down, not enough CC, not enough lockdown for Suzaku, and great use as well of the Hextech ultimatum. Camille will go invulnerable for at least a second before plopping down back again. And he used that just at the right moment, buying enough time to survive the 3-man dive from TNC. Just well played by IPT's top laner.
And interesting enough, as soon as they saw the recon towards the top side, pinagpatuloy pa rin ng bot lane ng IPT yung shoved in dito sa bot side towards kay Demon. And overall, this is quite interesting feat here. So IPT, it's refreshing to see that amidst a little bit of a shaky past few weeks, medyo nakakita na tayo ng fluidity na galing sa kanila. I'm wondering if this will eventually lead to a victory for them. It's still a little bit too early to tell, pero looks like they are going to make the proactive move to go for this next turret in the mid lane.
Pero tignan mo yung Arctic, diba? Burst was applying so much pressure in the top area. Paulit-ulit niyang ini-invade yung blue side jungle ng IPT at the cost of TNC's bot lane since palaging nasa top side yung sa Giovanni. Hindi matatakot maglaro ng aggressive yung Morgana Caitlyn na bot lane, and that led to them getting the first tower, and this is a big lead for IPT. Now, they're moving into the mid-game point. It's up to them to really try and accelerate the pace of the game while they're still ahead. Whoa!
Ooh, that will be a knock-up into Suzaku, getting the fancy footwork out of there, and dito rin si Burst para tulungan tong si Icarus. Will Suzaku make it out? I don't think so. Looks like he's just trying to prolong the inevitable, and that will be a takedown coming down from Icarus.
Yeah, I think that was very unlucky for Suzaku. Meron nga siyang hookshot para makatakas dun, but just at the tip of the Q from Sion, he will get cancelled out of that. So very unlucky for Suzaku, and I think kaka-cooldown lang ng flash yun. So really no escape.
Not at all. Oh, that will be Orthros caught right in a tricky position right there. Ultimate coming in from Ivalice. Unfortunately, wala siyang makukuha ang target, and Orthros makes it out just fine.
That was smart awareness by Orthros to get out, and it is an ultimate burn from the Zac. I mean, it's just the Zac ultimate.
Yeah.
He still has his tools that can go for a fight here. But speaking of going for fights,
Yes, that will be Shield denying that lockdown coming in from Burst, and looks like Kate will make it out just fine. Good try from TNC though.
ang daming na burn doon, Arctica. Feeling ko parang gigil na gigil yung TNC doon. Talagang they wanted to get on the Caitlyn, but luckily enough, yung timing ni Shadow on his Black Shield, sobrang on point. Hate was able to not get CC'd by the Glacial Prison, and smart flash as well, really respecting the engage that Rakan could do.
Meanwhile, still, Hate and Shadow patuloy pa rin sinashove itong mid lane. This turret from TNC is coming down a little bit low. Looks like Burst gonna try to seek for a target. Hate won't be conferring any CC that will slow him down, so we'll just walk his way out of there.
Yeah, and alam mo TNC, the reason why they're trying to force fights is yun lang yung paraan para pigilan tong push na ginagawa ng IPT. TNC's team comp does not have enough wave clear. Vladimir is not a wave clear champion. Azaya that's behind is not a wave clear champion. IPT, alam nila to, inaabuso nila yung fact na kayang-kaya mag-push nitong Caitlyn na fairly ahead. And look at the towers, all of them are already nearly chipped down low. And they're really using hate to take out the outer turrets of TNC, and the only way they can stop that is if TNC goes for an engage, pero IPT alam nila yun eh. So the moment the engage happens, they just disengage.
Exactly, and that's what I love about IPT right now. Nakikita natin yung pagiging methodical nila as far as how they've been playing out this game so far. I'm still wondering though, because TNC, we have been seeing attempts from both sides though. Nothing na hindi masyadong nagle-lead out into actually tilting the scales into either team's favor here. Pero mukhang that might reach a little bit of a lead as TNC gonna attempt to take first dragon of the game. IPT, makontas kaya nila to.
Oh, yung dragon.
That might be the chance.
Ivalice is in the area, kaso mukhang yeah, it's too late, it's too late.
A little bit in too late, and that will be first dragon of the game going to TNC. Take note, that will be a Mountain Drake. So medyo magkakaroon sila ng easier mill to taking objectives.
Oh, kaso they need to defend mid tower. Hate can take this down very easily.
Yes, oh, Orthros Be careful, my friend. Burst coming in from the backline. Kasama ni Hayes. IPT, they're on the run right now. That will be a charm. That will be a knock-up onto 8. 8 very, very low. Patuloy pa rin hinabol ng TNC. It looks like that won't be enough. Oh, but no. Burst actually gets that last hit right there. Hayes as well. 2 members of IPT will go down. Not a single casualty naman galing sa TNC as that ends in a 2-for-0.
Yan, narinig kaya ito ng TNC Arctic. Nung sinabi mo na kulang yung magiging damage yun, Burst just flashing forward to secure the kill onto Hate. Pero yun nga, that's what TNC has to do to stop the push that IPT is doing. They need to force fights. Hindi pwede na hayaan lang nila
Wow!
na mag-push yung IPT as Icarus gets a solo kill 1v1 versus a Camille.
Alam mo kung ano yung interesting, Cheese? So it's like the first few minutes, we saw IPT really starting to build up. Yun nga yung sinasabi natin na IPT, it's so refreshing to see them making this comeback after a little bit of a shaky few weeks. But all of a sudden, as soon as we hit past 10 minutes, TNC is really starting to get the ball rolling for themselves now.
Yeah, and I think tama rin yung ginawa ng TNC doon. Mas mabilis mag-cooldown mga ult namin kesa sa flash ni Hate. Nung first try natin, na-burn natin yung flash niya, nakataka siya. On the second try, wala na siya flash. So, hindi na siya makakatakas yun. And wisely enough, TNC, they go for the engage. They are decisive and they stop the push from IPT. Things are going to reset now though. The IPT are going back to what has been working for them so far.
Indeed. But, oh, this mid lane turret coming in from TNC Tier 1. Medyo low na. I think TNC will have to give this up now as Heat and Shadow start poising themselves towards itong mid lane. Let's go ahead and see, though, looking at the rest of the members of IPT, though, they are quite spread out. We do see Iva's lingering towards the top side alongside Suzaku, and we saw Light kind of shove out this bot lane here. So, looks like IPT just trying to control out these waves here.
Note nga natin, Arctic, as we are headed into this mid-game point, Suzaku's Camille is currently 0-3-0. Camille as a champion, hindi siya masaya na behind siya ng ganito. She realized a lot on that snowball. She needs to be ahead. Kung gusto niya maging relevant threat, kung gusto niya makapag-split push dito, kailangan mahihirapan yung TNC na i-1v1 siya. Kaso, given that she's sitting on this KDA, no items, just the Tiamat and Sheep, at this stage of the game, feeling ko non-factor pa si Suzaku.
I'd have to agree with you. And that's a little bit of a cripple para dito sa IPT. Looks like that will be the lockdown on to Shadow. He might be suffering as the first casualty in this fight. First gets the kill. Meanwhile, Hate, he was able to walk away safely, but at the midst of the cost of his support.
Yeah, mukhang nadamay si Shadow dun eh. Feeling ko talaga yung target dun si Hate. Pero the mind games from Burst, tinutok niya yung ultimate niya onto the Morgana because as a support, yung first response mo dun is, okay, babantayan ko yung carry ko. So, I point my Black Shielder. Pero Burst, knowing this, he aims it at the Morgana and they're able to pick up a kill.
And in all fairness, I guess that was something that TNC was able to learn from constantly. Kasi nakita naman natin yung mga attempts na yun kanina pa na Burst, he tries to get the initiate onto the Caitlyn pero parating nabibigo ng shield ni Morgana. So, changing tact by going for Shadow right there, that's definitely a nice change of pace there and it resulted to a kill. So, that's definitely a leg up once again for TNC. They are starting to build up. But let's go ahead and see though because this game is kind of going along. It's not really reaching yung steep heel up. It's still a little bit of a slow ascent for TNC.
Yeah, and going back to building up Arctic, let's talk about Demon. Diba, nung laning phase niya, he was behind a lot. He was being pressured constantly. But the moment he got out of lane, I think TNC played around that very well. Look at the difference now. This is not that big of a difference. Demon already has his Essence Reaver, which is probably one of the items that Zaya really loves now. And looking back, diba, he was behind. Now he's way back in this game.
Exactly, man. Meanwhile, Icarus, he is shoving in onto Suzaku right now. Naalala mo kanina, Suzaku was actually bringing quite a bit of pain there, but looks like Suzaku will be caught between 3 members of TNC. Mukhang resolute ang TNC dito na sagurin itong si Suzaku, and they have all the tools to do so. Suzaku looking very, very low. Looks like Ultimatum trying to stall out TNC, but no, that will be Burst. Securing the kill, now on a killing spree. Not to mention, a turret para dito sa TNC sa bot side. Pero in the midst of that, dahil may referral ng IPT, they might actually be able to get the top side. Kailangan ng ibigay ito ni Hayes rather, as that will be another turret naman para dito sa IPT. A little bit of a trade-off.
Yeah, mukhang si Suzaku yung napili ng TNC na i-bully this game. He's already 0-4-0 on this Caitlyn. Pero luckily enough, IPT were able to respond by taking the top lane tower of TNC. I think best case scenario na yun na even though their top laner died to a 3-man gank, nakapag-trade sila ng objective on the other side of the map. And yun yung tamang play na gawin.
And overall, IPT, they were able to clear out all first-tier turrets galing dito sa side ng TNC Pro Team. So I guess as far as turrets taken down, medyo balance na for both sides. 3 and 3, all first tiers taken. So let's go ahead and see though. Baron is going to be up within the next 2 minutes, as well as Infernal Drake within the next 30. So quite the objectives up for contest here para sa parehong sides na to.
Yeah, and binanggit mo na all of the outer turrets are already down for both teams. And I think this is very critical because look at the jungle matchup here. Zac is way more threatening during the laning phase when no vision is laid down yet. Whereas for TNC, they have Sejuani. Super reliable engage, especially in side lanes. She can just constantly run you down and lock you up with the amount of CC that TNC has. Now, Infernal Drake has spawned. It looks like TNC has control of the area.
In all fairness to IPT though, one of the saving graces for them amidst a 0-7 standing is kung mapapansin nyo yung karamihan ng kills, karamihan ng kill participation, medyo nakasentro dito kay Burst. As far as the carries, not as much. Their KDAs are looking fairly okay, but you can almost say the same for IPT. It's actually only Suzaku that has been suffering the most with a 0-4 standing right now.
Yeah, yun nga, si Suzaku lang eh. Kaso kailangan ni Suzaku na maging lamang to be relevant on this Camille, but TNC, naintindihan nila yun eh. Tignan mo to, Icarus is this far ahead na I don't think Suzaku can take trades like this. He'll just lose out because the Sion will get so tanky.
And you know what's interesting is that once Icarus puts up that shield, just easily deals with a lot of the damage which that Suzaku tries to trade kapag nag-initiate na siya kay Icarus. So that's such a tricky predicament to be in. And gaya nga ng sabi ko, medyo pila ito ng onte para sa IPT kasi nakita naman natin sa mga previous games kung gano'ng ka-crucial na miyembro si Suzaku sa IPT. But looking at things, that's gonna be a 1v1 once again. Patuloy pa rin siguro ni Suzaku. Andito na rin para si Shadow. Will they be able to catch Icarus with that? Will be hexing as a matter of dark fighting does land. And Icarus will go down. That is gonna be the shutdown finally as Suzaku gets his first kill of the game.
Okay, funnily enough, sinasabi natin may hirapan si Suzaku na yung 1v1 si Icarus. Mukhang hindi pa yun yung case. Oh, fight first?
Yes, it is gonna be a little bit of a split here as TNC goes straight in. Ibelis getting Orthros, and that will be the kill. Kill goes to Light. Burst is trying to chase down Hate, but Hate still actually lives to tell the tale. Haze tries to chase him down, but Suzaku coming in from the backline goes for a demon. One more hit, and that's going to be the kill. 3 members of TNC make that a total of 4. Succumb in a 1-for-4 in favor of IPT.
I don't think tatagal si Burst dito. They should give the kill over to Suzaku.
And that will be the ace. Ace for IPT, and are they going to go for the Baron though?
It's actually an ace for IPT. Yeah, nagulat ako na bigla na lang naubos yung members ng TNC. They were so spread out, so split up na hindi nila nagamit yung tools na meron silang lamang, di ba? All of the advantages were onto the tanks. Pero the tanks were just left out to dry really. Members of IPT were able to single out targets. Now, Baron is being started. Anong kayang gawin ni Icarus dito?
Oh, Icarus. That Baron is still just a little bit more, but Icarus can potentially go for a little bit of a cleanup here.
Wait, Baron!
And wow! That will be IPT still securing the Baron. Light will walk away with it, but in the midst of that, looks like TNC, they're going to clean up the rest of the members of IPT. Ibelis, he's trying to elastic slingshot his way out of there. He indeed makes the jump, but only meets Demon right there. And that is going to be the kill.
Napakamalas naman ni Ibelis dun. Akala niya nakatakas na siya. Akala niya magagamit ko yung Baron and Power Vehicle ko. Kaso sakto ng tinakbuhan si Demon. So he will pick up his first kill of the game. Pero looking back at that Baron take, that could have gone so disastrous for IPT. If I recall correctly, 46 HP.
Yes.
One hit na lang yun from anyone. And I think Icarus could have easily stolen that from IPT. Pero yun nga, IPT still, luckily enough, they were able to secure that objective ngayon. Ang tanong, magagamit ba nila to?
Stars did align for IPT in that case as Light was able to secure it. But in the midst of that though, we're kind of at a point right there na because of IPT taking that Baron, medyo nag-even out ulit yung playing field para sa magkabilang side. So, interesting predicament that we're in. And tingnan natin what IPT will get as far as value. That will be the initiate coming from Orthos. Unfortunately, Black Shield from Morgana easily weighs away all that CC dished out by TNC.
Yan, laki ng value na nakuha ni Shadow dahil lang sa Black Shield ng Morgana. That's 2 of the key ultimates that TNC needs to start fights. Wala na yung ult ni Rakan. Oh, nice cancel though.
Suzaku easily able to get the cancel off of Icarus. Icarus, he's trying to walk this up, and unfortunately Suzaku has managed to recuperate to deal with
He's not gonna
this behemoth right here. Suzaku gonna dive in. Icarus, moment of stasis, pinapatagalan niya yung inevitable, and that will be the takedown as Suzaku gets the kill. Pero meanwhile, nandito tayo sa Riverside. Haze getting the kill onto Ibelis, so 1-for-1 so far across the board para dito sa IPT at TNC. Papatuloy tuloy kaya ng TNC mukhang atras muna sila 1-for-1 overall at the end of the day.
Yeah, everyone's fighting all across the map. Pero looking back, during the engage that TNC tried to go for, so much value coming from the Black Shield. It denies so many ultimates coming from TNC. But now I think what IPT has to do is they need to start pushing. But unfortunately, since Ivalis died, they can't do so because there's no more threat of the Zac jumping in from Fog of War if TNC goes for an engage to stop the push.
Yes, and that will be a little bit of breathing room for TNC kasi at least di masyadong nasulit. At least para sa kanila, di nasulit yung Baron buff dito sa side ng Imperium Pro Team.
Yeah, and now this is very interesting kasi makikita mo Arctic yung contrast team sa teams. Di ba? On TNC, they have fed tanks. Tignan mo si Icarus siya kasi Burst. They're very tanky on both Sion and Sejuani. Whereas for IPT, yung carries nila yung fed eh. They have a Caitlyn with already 2 items and they have Light who's been practically untouched on this rise. He's been allowed to scale. Pag umabot tayo dun sa point na Light completes his possibly a Void Staff here, the Rise is just gonna deal so much damage in fights.
And what's interesting is that if you're going to look at boots across the board for Imperium Pro Team, knowing that Hayes is going to try to go in onto the backline, across the board, we're seeing Mercury treads from 4 out of 5 members of IPT, knowing very well that Hayes might actually be the one dishing out quite a bit of that damage upon initiation from TNC. So that's a little bit of damage negated. So tricky for TNC.
Actually, I think it's not just the respect to the damage that Vladimir provides. Looking at TNC's comp, there are a lot of taunts, Sejuani as well, a lot of CC options here, and having Mercury threads just denies a lot of that lockdown that TNC has. So smart buys from IPT. Ang dami ng value na nakukuha nila just from what items they are buying. Talagang sulit na sulit.
Man, and this is just suited for IPT, but for TNC just makes things all the more trickier with the composition that they have right now. And we are reaching a point na both sides, they are taking it a little bit more, how should I put it, a little bit more calculated in how they go about their moves right now. TNC will make the proactive move though to go for their 3rd Dragon of the game. So, interesting, we're kind of seeing a mirror of Game 2 na lahat ng Dragons na pupunta sa TNC. Pero even if they get all these Dragons...
Lahat ng Elder Drake na punta sa IPT. Pero gaya na sinabi Mark, this is a very similar situation to the previous game. Ang tanong nga lang talaga is, can IPT repeat what happened and pick up a win here? And it looks very... Even though they are behind in kills, even though it's 6-12, they look very poised to control how this game works.
Ultimatum gonna be popped up by Suzaku. Orthos gonna try to respond, gets the charm onto Suzaku, and dito na rin si Demon para tulungan na i-take down ng top laner ng IPT. Suzaku is continually getting chased down, but looks like won't be surviving to tell the tale. Still trying to escape, but Demon, at the end of the day, secures the kill.
Yeah, but did they take too long? Look at IPT, they're pushing down the mid lane to try to pigilan ng TNC.
Yes, that will be the stun onto Ivalis. IPT, they're starting to walk back. Hayes will be joining the party, tries to go for the front line. Black Shield popped up. Here comes the Scion, but still looks like TNC, they will content themselves by taking down Ivalis. Passive is up, but with 3 members converging onto him, there's pretty much no chance of survival.
Yeah, pretty much wala nang takas sa Zac doon. And I think tinanggap na rin ni Ivalis na okay, itatakas ko na lang yung bot lane ko. Ilalayo ko na lang sila gamit ng Let's Bounce. So he will be the sacrifice for IPT to get away. But in the end, IPT were able to take down the mid-tier 2. Now TNC are gonna try and take down the one from IPT.
Yes, in the midst of everything, IPT was able to get a lot of value. Tingnan natin kung makabawi naman tong TNC in the midst of that. Ivalis is gonna be up within the next 15 seconds. Kaya looks like TNC, the most that they can get out of this is potentially a 2nd-tier turret. But this is gonna be a fight though. IPT, they are continuing to chase TNC. They're starting to back away. Dark Binding does connect onto Icarus. That will be the root. Takes a bit of damage, pero still survives to tell the tale. Zaku looks like he's still intent on going for it though. Dark Binding does connect once again. Orthos goes for the front line. That will be the charm in onto the members of Imperium Pro Team. Shadow tries to go for the ultimate in, but TNC, they are dissuaded to go back now. Zaku looks like he's going to go straight back in ping pong effect. This is the team fight. Hextech Ultimatum, that will be the commit right there. Members of TNC, Demon gets the kill onto Suzaku, but still very, very heavy damage that they've taken as the health bars are looking very flimsy for TNC. That will be the back away. Ivalis goes straight in onto the members of TNC that are continuing to try to escape. That will be Burst and Orthros. squashed together as they get the kill onto TNC's support. And that ends, ladies and gents, in a 1-for-3 in favor of All Hail Imperium Pro Team.
Si Burst at si Demon lang ang natira galing sa TNC ngayon to re-engage from IPT. The way they were able to kite back, yung mga Black Shield ni Shadow, talagang pinigilan kung ano yung gustong gawin ng TNC. And in the end, the moment na binurn ni Hayes yung kanyang pool, Suzaku just knows he can go for this. And even kahit na siya yung namatay doon, that's so worth it for his team because now, I think, unless Demon can pull off something really good here, IPT are going to be rewarded with an inhibitor.
Yes, indeed. Shadow looking very low, but in the midst of that, IPT, the only mission for them was to take down an inhibitor, and they take it down just fine. Light trying to hold off the rest of TNC from pursuing IPT, and that will be the hold off as they make a clean escape. Patuloy pa rin hinabol ng TNC. I don't think they could chase down Light though in this instance.
Kailangan ng IPT mag-disengage dito kasi pag nahuli sila, that could mean Baron for TNC.
Yes, Light actually decides to root and hold off Hayes from further pursuing IPT. At makakatakas naman sila. Mission accomplished.
They need to get back soon.
TNC looks like they see the opportunity of going for Baron. Ivalice still very healthy, is within the vicinity. Smite is up for him. Whenever he opts for the steal, TNC, they're trying to zone out the members of IPT from contesting this. Baron is already half its health. IPT, where are you guys? You need to steal it, but no! Fortunately, they aren't even in the vicinity as TNC takes the Baron.
Yeah, let's go ahead at this fight here. And the moment that Hayes burns his pool, go signal na yun ni Suzaku. And the Vladimir is immediately focused down by IPT. And at this point, it's just Demon trying to kite back his best here because with Vladimir down, there's no more fights that they can win. There's no threats to the backline of IPT. And just they were able to run down the members of TNC and clean up this fight.
And in the midst of that, great move here from Ivalice, making sure that Orthos and Burst couldn't try to make an escape, but looks like that will result to just the support. Spurs still was able to salvage himself, but could have gone way worse for TNC
Yeah, pero
there.
kahit na IPT yung nakakuha nung team fight win na yun, TNC yung nag-end up na mag-secure ng Baron because IPT, they overextended. Napatagal sila. TNC were able to delay long enough the inhibitor take from IPT, and they were able to stop the recalls as well just as the Baron spawned. And TNC were decisive enough to go for that objective immediately. Now, with the Baron take, you'd think with an inhibitor down, IPT would be ahead. This game is practically even, Arctic.
Man, and in the midst of this though, take note, TNC, patuloy silang nag-shove dito sa mid lane, while Suzaku continuing to split towards bot lane. Tingnan natin if there will be an eventual trade-off. That will be second tier turret in the mid lane, taken down from IPT. Let's go ahead and see TNC, they're resolute on wanting to take down this inhibitor.
Kaya mag-dive na TNC dito.
That will be the stun onto Shadow. Shadow tries to go for it, but no, Demon already now on a rampage, takes him down easily. They're trying to go for champions as well as this turret. Two members of IPT are already down bot lane for IPT. In fact, 3 members are down, but this could be the finish. TNC, they have the makings of going for the finish. Suzaku still that inhibitor though. Will that wave make it in time? It's going to be a race against time. Is Suzaku going to try to push it? That's going to be Nexus turret number 1 for TNC. Nexus turret number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, after quite the intense match, TNC will end the fray going 2-1 against Imperium Pro Team. GG, well played as the Phoenix flies again.
Yeah, mukhang sa base race na yan, TNC ang mauuna makakabasag ng Nexus. Unfortunately, IPT, in that situation, all they needed to do was buy time for Suzaku. He was already in position, pero TNC did not let IPT have that time. They just immediately went in, and Shadow could only Black Shield on point for so long. Unfortunately, siya yung appealing target, and yeah, TNC comes out with the win. Great series by them.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, those last few seconds, like, amidst all that action, like, that was pretty much luring through the end because I wasn't sure how that was gonna go, but I guess at the end of the day, Suzaku, of course, I mean, what's a one-man unit in comparison to a full shuffle from TNC going for that Nexus? So that was a pretty well played out game there. But what do you think IPT could have done differently to have changed the tides of how that went down?
I think for the most part, in the end, after IPT took down the inhibitor, I think they stayed around too long. And allowing TNC to secure the Baron meant that TNC could push forward regardless of their mid inhibitor being down. In the end, I think just the shot calling, the decisiveness was on TNC's side, and I really think that led them to getting the victory.
I guess there you have it, folks. That was absolutely amazing, but still, I mean, let's go ahead and talk about, because this pretty much concludes Week 6 in general. Talking about Week 7 now, because nung nakita ko yung schedule, it's actually interesting kasi it's basically top 4 teams right now versus those that are at the bottom 4. So I guess, ladies and gents, dahil nga na we're playing a rescheduled game, unfortunately we can't have the usual post-match interview that we have, but of course, let's go ahead and give recognition to who our MVP of the match is. Chiso, would you do the honors?
I think for this match, it would be his honest Vladimir play. Really carried TNC into this victory. And yeah, now that TNC have secured that 1 point, it means that they are in sole possession of second place over Team Manila Eagles. And I think they're going to be very happy with this as we head on to the final week of the Pro Gaming Series.
Yeah, this is going to be the final week that you guys don't want to miss under any circumstances. Pero para just to reflect what Chisto has mentioned, tingnan natin yung standings right now.
And headed on to the playoff stage, of course. First seed and second seed, immediate buy into the semi-final stage. So TNC definitely happy that they are 1 tier above the current defending champions, Team Manila Eagles.
I think as we head into week 7, sa nakikita natin sa standings, ang magiging actually, almost every single person here is of crucial status because it could go either way depending on how each game plays out. Gaya nga ng sabi ko, it's basically top 4 teams versus bottom 4 teams right now. So, like, let's say, especially if medyo humataw tong mga nasa bottom, things could get pretty crazy as to which team will eventually make it into the playoffs. Kasi as far as who's in the top 4, it's pretty much secured, whatever happens. But for the bottom 4, it still could go either way, especially kung medyo magkaroon ng in a way, I guess I'd go so far as saying kakaibang pangyayari na the bottom 4 teams suddenly perform clean out 2-0s across the board.
Yeah.
That would be insane, man.
Yeah, I mean, sobrang dikit pa rin, and especially headed to the final week, that just gives you more reasons to watch the PGS RT kasi, I mean, for all these teams, this has been an incredibly competitive PGS so far, and I'm really excited to see how it will all conclude.
I have to agree with you, Cheester. In fact, probably one of my favorite splits yet. Kasi talagang as far as predictions go, it's just so hard to tell who's gonna eventually end up on top. But ladies and gents, that concludes our rescheduled match and the conclusion of week 6. When we come back tomorrow, gaya nga ng sabi namin, it's gonna be week 7, the final week before we hit the playoffs. But for the meantime, we'll be taking our leave for now. Once again, we have been your casters. Ako si Arctic at Users Fam. At syempre kasama ko ngayon si Chisto. This is the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split. Kita-kits tayo bukas. But for now, have a great night, everybody. IPT, they're on the run right now. That will be a charm. That will be a knock-up on today. Hit very, very low. Patuloy pang hinabol ng TNC. It looks like that won't be enough. Oh, but no! Burst actually gets that last hit right there. Ace as well. Oh, fight first. Yes, it is going to be a little bit of a split here as TNC goes straight in. Idol is getting Orthros, and that will be the kill. Kill goes to Light. Burst is trying to chase down Hate, but Hate still actually lives to tell the tale. Ace tries to chase him down, but Suzuko coming in from the back line goes for a demon. One more hit, and that's going to be the kill. 3 members of TNC make that a total of 4. Such on in a 1-for-4 favor of IPT.
I don't think tatagal si Burst dito. They should give the kill over to Suzuko.
And that will be the Ace. It looks like he's able to straight back in ping pong effect. This is the team fight. Hextech Ultimatum, that will be the commit right there. Members of TNC, Demon gets the kill onto Suzuko, but still very, very heavy damage that they've taken as the health bars are looking very flimsy for TNC. That will be the back away. Let's go straight in onto the members of TNC that are continuing to try to escape. That will be Burst and Orthros flashed together as they get the kill on. But no, Demon already now on a rampage takes him down easily. They're trying to go for champions as well as this turret. 3 members of IPT are already down bot lane for IPT. In fact, 3 members are down, but this could be the finish. TNC, they have the makings of going for the finish. Suzuku. Still that inhibitor though. Will that wave make it in time? It's going to be a race against time. Is Suzuku going to try to push it? That's going to be Nexus turret number 1 for TNC. Nexus turret number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, after quite the intense match, TNC will end the fray going 2-1 against Imperium Pro Team. GG Waltier as the Phoenix flies again.
Yeah, mukhang sa base race na yan, TNC ang maunang